Hey everyone, this is Viren again. So welcome back to my channel. Today we will be diving into one of the most critical pillar, that is detect function. If governance is the brain and the protect is the armor, then detect is the early warning radar that tells you something is going wrong. So basically, before it becomes a cyber disaster, and the framework maps the detect as one of the core cybersecurity function. Now, what is detect function exactly? So the detect function ensures that SEBI regulated entity can rapidly identify cybersecurity events, anomalies, and potential attacks. So SEBI emphasizes that organizations must constantly monitor their environment, network, application, database, endpoint to spot any suspicious activity. This is why the framework mandates, security operations centers, that is SOCs, for the continuous monitoring. And why detect matters? So in cybersecurity, speed is everything. A breach, detect in minutes is an incident, and the breach detect in months become catastrophic. So the detect function reduce the dwell time, and the period attackers remain inside your organization undetected, and that helps organization to respond before damage the spiral out of control. So basically, if you can detect any vulnerability, if you can detect any malware or a virus or anything within your system earlier than it can impact your operations, so it will always good that you can control that. If you won't be able to detect, then you won't be able to control that. Then we'll talk about the key element of the detection function. That is, let's break down in some pointers. So first, CB has emphasis on the having a security operations center. So why SOC is mandatory? So basically, a SOC is the heart of the detect function. SEBI requires all the regulator entity to maintain either an in-house SOC or use the MyMSOC. MSOC basically provided from the NSE or BSE exchange. So what it basically offers, that 24/7 by 24 into 7 monitoring, real time alerting, anomaly detection, event correlation, and also incidence escalation. Then continuous monitoring. So here's what we can say is it is mandated that round the clock monitoring is must of any security events, not periodically, not reactively, but continuous. So basically, this includes the scanning of for the abnormal logins, privilege account misuse, suspicious data transfer, failed access attempt, misconfiguration, or maybe a ransomware indicators. So basically, for example, if you have Active Directory implemented, and if you find that someone is trying to log in from the US where there is no presence of your business, so it's suspicious. So you can go and block that account or probably reset the password. So this is why detection is very important in time. Log management and event correlation is like logs are then a raw evidence of what is happening inside your environment, and CSCR is required to organization to maintain the logs for the system, network, applications, and database. So whenever we need the forensics, so we can do that. So okay, so basically what they want is you just have the log, and then you feed that logs to the SIEM tool. So most of the SOC, based on the SIEM tool only for the correlation. So basically, there's a certain example of the logs, like authentication logs, network traffic logs, endpoint activity logs, application or API logs. So basically, if you find that someone is trying to log into the system for once in a 3 or 4 minutes, so that is probably okay, or probably half an hour, that will be okay. But if you find that within a 30 second someone is trying to log into the system for probably 100 times, so that can be a brute force kind of activity, and those kind of logs. So if you have one single logs of the authentication, so that is okay. But if you find hundreds of log within the second for the authentication, that means something is wrong within the system. And that correlation and that SIEM tool has the capability to do those correlations. Okay, so that is why correlation is so SIM is important. Then threat intelligence integration. Okay, so here they want to say is detection is far more powerful when paired with the threat intelligence. So CSCRF encourages RA to consume and act on the intelligence from C13 or probably a market stock or any other threat feeds. So basically, those are the open source there where you can where it's like a knowledge base. So you will find the many different tactics and techniques how the people can come into your system, or vulnerability list of vulnerability database, you can say. So this helps you to detect this helps in detect indicators of the compromise or emerging attacks on a targeted companies. So use of automated tools like SIEM, UEBA, and EDR or XDR. So to detect the threat at the scale, the automation is essential, because the nobody like manual activity, it is not possible. Like if you want to correlate hundreds of authentication logs of one single user within a second, so it is not possible for a human. So you need an automated tool. So that is why we use this SIEM. Now EDR or XDR, that is used for the endpoints, basically threat detection. These are the behavior based detection tools. So any misconfiguration or misbehave from the any exe, or if they're trying to rewrite the registry, or they're trying to affect the code, so core so of the OS, so it will detect and it will block that. So okay, so user behavior management is also important. So like if so basically how user is going to log in, how user is logging to the system, from where, and what from which devices they are logging to the system, whether the devices are compliant or not. So those things cover the user behavior analytics. And so this is also a automated tool wherein if you find any vulnerability or if you find any malware, so this SOAR will automatically patch that particular vulnerability. So that is basically you can say that they write the rules that if this happening, so this do this with the configuration. So basically, if you find any DDoS attack on the firewall, so that will push the firewall to block that particular IP, and that change the configuration that way. So these tools help the analyst respond faster than the fewer false positives. So basically, okay, automation, of course, you can respond immediately. Incident detection KPIs. So basically, detection isn't that about tool. It's measure using the KPI. The KPI is like mean time to detect, basically MTDAD, mean time to alert. That is of course IMTTA. SOC accuracy rates. Basically CSCRF has told you do the SOC efficacy test. So that is what accuracy rates. False positive ratio. Uh, so the whatever the detection is happening in the system, so kitna you know accurate hai, that we will come to know on the base of the false positive ratio. So these KPIs help strengthen the resilience as envisaged under the SEBI's cyber resilience goal. Okay, now real world example. If you talk about the real world example of the detection, so here are the few examples. So login from the new device or unusual location. sudden privilege escalation of the user. So if he is an operational user and he's access to the HR departments, and it is something wrong with the configuration, or something wrong with the system. Large data transfer to the odd hours. So रात को कोई काम करने करता है generally India में, and if you find that heavy upload during the nights, then it can be something suspicious. Suspicious API calls. If you have a website that use the APIs for the UPI or a payment transfer, or any data fetch, or reporting or anything. So repeated failed login attempts can be a suspicious thing. Malware becoming to an external server. Okay, so these are the some example of the so detect thing. Now so if we so basically how detect fits into CSCRF. So the detect function sits right between the protect and response. If you see, the first is the governance, then protect, then the third is the detect and respond. Okay, so this is our functions. And then detect is between protect and respond. So once you protect, after that you have to start monitoring, and if you find anything suspicious, so you have to respond. So once the protection phase, then they eventually will and then the detect reveals the attack. So your response team can contain and neutralize it. So here comes the response. It aligned directly with the cyber resilience goal, withstand, contain. So according to SEBI's framework, of course. And final takeaway, that is, in summary, what we can say, detect function is the that keeps your organization alert, vigilant, and ready. It ensures that no threat goes unnoticed, and and equips with teams with the visibility that need to act quickly. So that is for the day. And if you found this video valuable, please hit like, subscribe, and tap on the bell icon, so you will be stay updated for the next upcoming videos. Thanks. And the next video will be on the respond function. That is a next that will be the next topic for our video discussion. Thanks everyone. Thanks very much.